India's economic reforms, challenges and reforms. Okay, and we were discussing about profile of Indian economy, and in that chapter we had to discuss about the India's economic reforms, and we had to discuss about the challenges as well as the prospects. So we have to move on to the page number 199. First we will be discussing about the challenges. Okay, challenges is in the page number 199. Okay, first challenge is the infrastructure bottlenecks. So actually know that infrastructure is the main criteria which we require for the ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ഓഫ് ആൻ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി. ഓക്കെ, ഇൻഫ്രാസ്ട്രക്ചർ എന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്താ, അടിസ്ഥാന സൗകര്യങ്ങൾ. സോ വി വെർ ഫേസിങ് ദ lack of infrastructure or lack of proper infrastructure. So that becomes a major challenge in front of the Indian economy. So our available infrastructure is not enough in order to do the manufacturing activities, in order to carry out the manufacturing activities properly. So infrastructure bottlenecks is the one of the major challenge that is hindering the development of the Indian industries. And next comes the power. Okay, so we all know that in order to carry out the manufacturing activities we require power. Okay, so the lack of adequate power to carry out the manufacturing industry is the one of the other challenge which is hindering the development of the Indian industries. Next one is the transport. Actually transport is necessary, or transportation facilities is necessary in order to carry the raw materials for the production purpose, as well as the in order to transport the finished goods. So proper transportation is one of the major thing. It is required for the development of a developing nation. So lack of proper transportation or adequate transportation is one of the major challenge that is hindering the development of the Indian industries. And the fourth one is the lower flow of foreign direct investment. Actually we all know that in the Indian industries requires a lot of capital, because we don't have the adequate capital which is enough, which is required for the development or the industries. Okay, which is required for the to carry out all the manufacturing activities. So we requires the investment. So investment should come from the outside as well as the inside. And we cannot say that since we are a developing country, we cannot say that we have adequate investment capital with us. So definitely in order to develop we have to attract the investment from the foreign countries. So lack of the foreign investment is one of the major challenge that is faced by the Indian industry or the Indian economy. Tariff barriers. So tariff barriers is also one of the major challenge that is faced by the Indian industries. Okay, here the tariff rates are high compared to other developed countries or other developing countries. Our tariff rates are high. So as a result of the tariff rates, high tariff rates, it is hindering or it is preventing us from the to go far. Okay, now we are far behind many countries. So in order to move forward we have to get certain exclusions in the tariffs. So tariff barriers is one of the major challenge which is faced by the Indian industries. Next one is the reservation for small scale industries. That is a 6th point. So as we all know that certain commodities for the production as well as the manufacturing of certain commodities has been reserved for the small scale industries. So those commodities could not be produced or manufactured by the large scale industries. So actually in case of those some of those commodities they can be export or imported easily without any restrictions. So but these commodities are reserved for the small scale industries only. So this is also hindering many industries from developing far. Okay, actually, we are reserving some items for the small scale industry for the betterment of the small scale industries. But actually, if the large scale industries gets a chance to produce all these products, means they will be able to grow much faster. So, reservation of small certain commodities for the small scale industries also hindering the development, okay, hindering or creating a challenge before the Indian economy. And next comes the unemployment and poverty. So many times we have discussed about this point, that is the unemployment as well as the poverty is the one of the major challenge which is faced by the Indian economy. Okay, actually, here in the South India, we are not facing much poverty and all. But when we go to the northern side of India, we can see that many people are unemployed and they don't have, they are facing from the poverty also. So that is the major challenge, okay, in front of the India. So in we have to we are no, we are going into a, we are a faster we are a huge populated country, we are ranking in the second position. So we have to provide the necessary, meet the necessary requirements of all these 100 plus crore people, okay. And next one is the human development. So compared to other developing countries, human development is the comparatively low in India. So that is also one of the major challenge which is faced by the Indian industries. Next one is the political instability. So we can say that it is the Indian politics is unstable, because naturally we know that every 5 years the government will change. So that also creating a challenge in front of the Indian economy. When one government comes, okay, they will be creating certain policies, they will be creating certain rules and regulations. When after 5 years another government will be coming, they will be changing all these rules, policies and all, because they are not continuing with the policies of the earlier government. So that is also, political instability creates a major challenge in front of the Indian economy. And the last point is the India as a diversified global manufacturing center, okay. So India's manufacturing sector is contributing a very low percentage towards the GDP. GDP, we have already discussed about the GDP, that is the gross domestic product, and the manufacturing sector of India, okay, is that is the secondary sector, is contributing very low percentage towards the GDP of our country. That also creating a huge challenge. So these are the challenges faced by the Indian industries, that is the Indian economy: infrastructure bottlenecks, power, transport, lower flow of foreign direct investment, tariff barriers, reservation for small scale industry, unemployment and poverty, human development, political instability. India as a diversified global manufacturing center. Now we are moving on to the prospects. So first one is the rising level of the per capita income. So per capita income means the income per head. So we will be getting the per capita income when we divide the total national income divided by the total number of population, we will be getting the per capita income. So India's per capita income is in a growing rate. India's per capita income is growing tremendously. So that creates a prospect for the Indian economy. Second one is the growing middle class, okay. So we can divide the people into upper class, middle class and lower class. And here the middle class people, the number of middle class people is growing tremendously. So the growing rate of middle class shows that India's people's growth rate or their life capacity rate is growing tremendously. Next one is the larger number of working population are reducing the dependency. So the number of working population in India is increasing largely, okay. So people will be able to find out the jobs, and they are, okay, dependency ratio is also decreasing compared to the previous years, okay. The working population rate is increasing and dependency rate is reducing. And next one is the availability of qualified manpower. So qualified manpower means a person who is able to do carry out some activity. Okay, so the education sector of India is improving, so availability of the qualified manpower also improving along with the improvement of. And next comes the certain slot of areas where India can make competitive advantage. So that is the fifth point. Okay, so liberalization as well as the globalization has changed the India's industrial landscape. Okay, so it has created the liberalization as well as the globalization has created many opportunities as well as the greater access to the resource as well as the knowledge. So it has created great scope for the Indian industries. So in those, and it has created many a wide scope in front of the Indian industries. So if the India can make use of all these scopes properly, it can make the competitive advantage. So these are the prospects of the Indian economy. First one is the rising level of per capita income. Second one is the growing middle class. Third one, larger number of working population and reducing dependency. Fourth one is the availability of qualified manpower. Fifth one is the certain slot areas where India can make competitive advantage.